Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. Yeah, what a crazy last few days that I have had. Wanted to do a video for a couple reasons. One, to get you all updated on what's been going on. And two, just to kind of document all the stuff that's happened. Sorry for the hiccups. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a journey. Ended up getting I'm gonna kind of rewind here a little bit. So I ended up going. Well, the last week and a half, I've been to the emergency room twice, both times for fevers, and the reason is that we're starting to figure this all out right now. The first time I went in was for fever and ended up going through a whole panel of stuff. Did COVID tests to all sorts of blood, a bunch of blood work to cultures, the whole nine yards. And I was in there for 3 days. And everything came back clean. So it was really tough. I was on, they put me on some broad spectrum antibiotics and ended up sending me home because there was just nothing going on. We couldn't find anything. And they were also in touch with my blood marrow transplant team down here in Denver. Ended up going through a few days. I ended up getting this really crazy red rash, really bright red, and they call it red man syndrome. And it has to do with one of the broad spectrum antibiotics. This thing called a broad spectrum antibiotic called vancomycin. And it's not super common, but it is well documented that one of the allergic reactions is just your body just turns super red, and that's exactly what happened to me. And whatever, I had that. Ended up getting on some Benadryl and some Claritin, and that started clearing everything up. And I ended up getting home. I think it was on a Tuesday, maybe it was Monday evening or something like that. I got home, and things were starting to clear up. And then Thursday night, I started getting a little bit more of a rash. I think it was Thursday night or Friday night, I forget. Things are just blurring in all over the place right now. The next day, the rash was getting worse, and I was starting to kind of feel a little bit shitty. Ended up spending the day, and then I ended up getting another crazy fever, and that kind of automatically put me back down into the emergency room. And at that point, there's not a whole lot that the emergency room in Frisco could do. So I got to go by ambulance down to UCHealth. My blood pressure was a little bit low. There's a couple things that they were nervous about, and that's why I ended up taking the ambulance. And so ended up, doing the ride down here. Had to do another emergency room because I went from one emergency room to the next. UCHealth, which wasn't too bad, but it was a lot of people, a lot of things happening all at once. And from there, we just started running a bunch of blood tests and a bunch of stuff, and we started trying to figure it out. This rash that I was getting a lot worse. It went a lot further than the red man syndrome. It was all over my legs. Went all the way down my legs, my arms, my chest. And it wasn't super itchy, but it was a little bit. But as it kind of progressed, and then I ended up getting a bed about 2:30 a.m. Saturday morning, and throughout the night, we just started running tests. We've been running blood tests like it's out of style. Probably did a lot more than we needed to do, but At that point, we ended up getting dermatology involved and infectious diseases involved because it was really weird, but there was a consensus of how the rash looked that they thought it was a drug reaction rash. And as things kind of progressed, and I ended up having some more fevers and some other things kind of through the next couple days, and the rash was slowly getting a little bit more broad and whatever, and they continued to think it was a drug rash. And as my blood work and everything kept coming in, and the tests and the different labs and the different cultures that kept coming in, it kept looking more and more and more like a drug reaction rash. And so today is Tuesday. I've been down here since Friday night, and that's really it, just going through this whole thing. And met with both dermatology and infectious disease this morning. They completely think it's all drug and a drug rash and just a drug reaction, and it has to do with antibiotics. I'm allergic to most likely one, but there's two type of antibiotics that could be the culprit. So both of those are on my my list of do not give allergic list in my file. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it, really. And it's just a wild, it's been wild sleeping in the hospital. I haven't had to be on a lot of IV for the last 48 hours because things are settling down. They took me off of all the antibiotics except for one, just to start ruling all this stuff out. So I haven't been on any other antibiotics except for one specific antibiotic that I know I'm not allergic to, and just letting it all kind of flush out at this point. So that's kind of the gist of it at the moment, and why it's been a bit of a crazy run. The last 2 weeks were supposed to be kind of time for me to just recharge and kind of recover from the IgEV chemotherapy, but it looks like I'm going to go back in, continue with the therapy, obviously get a different set of antibiotics as I'm going through it, and that's what they think. So quick backtrack real quick. They think that one of the antibiotics I got that is causing this, it's like a late onset reaction from one of them that I got during chemotherapy. So that's kind of where that's at, and so now that's where I'm just sitting. I'm just kind of hanging in the hotel room. Erica's across the street right now, I'm just kind of waiting to do something outside of here, and I'm actually waiting for the blood marrow transplant doctor that's on call right now to come by and take a look at me, and we'll see what he wants to do. But I haven't fevered in, at this point, about 36 hours, which is a great thing, and I don't know if they want me to go a little longer. There is a slight chance I might be able to get out this evening. I have a feeling it's probably going to be more like tomorrow, but that's okay. So that's where I'm at. That's where things are at right now, and that's kind of the whole gist of this crazy thing at the moment. But I do feel good. I'm just tired, tired of being in the hospital. I've spent a lot of time in the hospital emergency rooms in the last 3 weeks coming on right now, and it's I got a lot more coming on starting next week, and then with any luck, the chemotherapy will have done its job, and I will be in remission. We can move forward with transplant. So that's kind of the gist of it at the moment. That's the update. So thanks for watching, guys. Obviously, if you have any questions or whatever, hit me in the comments section below. I'm blanking on exactly the different antibiotics that the allergic reaction might be from, so I'll get that list and I'll get it to you guys soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time and energy in watching the videos, and thanks for following along on this crazy journey. So, yeah, again, I love you guys. Appreciate your time and energy, and I will see you on the next video.